नीचे से टाइट करना हो, जहाँ आपका हाथ है ना ऊपर वाला, हाँ नीचे एक चूड़ी जैसी है।
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. هذا أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم. أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله تعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال تعالى: يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء. واتقوا الله الذي تسألون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. وقال تعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. الله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وأزواجه أجمعين. أما بعد. All the praise and thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sustainer of the universe, and blessing and salutation to the all Anbiya Karam, and foremost among all Anbiya Karam, most distinguished of all Anbiya Karam, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have blessing on him, on his children, on his companions, all the righteous people who passed in the past, or among us who will come inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of them. Ameen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran: بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. صدق الله العظيم. O you who believe, fasting is decreed for you, as it was decreed for those before you, that you may attain salvation. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us. We are the blessed of the blessed among Ummah of Rasulullah. At least we get to see the Ramadan. We don't know what the end would look like. We don't know what the next moment is. But at least we entered into Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, we are the blessed one. There are not so many like us, brothers and sisters. During these trying times, they may have passed away from this dunya. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give the forgiveness of them, and may Allah elevate their level, inshallah, hereafter as well. And make it ease on their graves as well. Protect them from Azab al-Qabr. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a plan and a tartib. When people say sometimes, say they curse the mana, they curse the time, they curse the time and whatnot. And this is the mana, or this time is bad. It's nothing. Time is never bad. We are the one who's going through this all experiences, but time is always there. We are there or not, shows goes on, as the saying goes, right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala plans are, so until the establishment of the Yawm al-Qiyamah, this dunya is going to go on. There are generations in the past who passed before us. We are here, we have to go through this time. There will be a time when we won't be here, and there will be another generation after another, until whenever the end is, whenever the plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the Bishara of Rasulullah is the one who does the good things, inshallah will be judged on that. You will not be accountable for someone else, but you will be accountable for our own deeds, right? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let us reap the rewards of this month of Ramadan. Ameen. and send blessing on all the people anywhere in the world, inshallah, Muslimin, and beyond that, the mankind as well is going through suffering. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring ease on all of us. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring ease during the month of Ramadan, and let us see the happiness, the way we used to celebrate the Ramadan, let us do that. But if we are not having that one, as the indication looks like, alhamdulillah, subhanallah, as I mentioned in my previous of the bayans as well, this is the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has given you another opportunity. You may be busy in our own individuals, rituals and all ibadah, whatnot. This time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us time to spend time with your family. Stay together. Establish your salah at home. At least if you are, let's say if you have few people behind you, your own loved one, close one, so just establish the salah and make a tartib. Like if someone is not known how to recite the salah right, trying to just teach each other, learn from each other. So correct ourselves. If we don't know the recitation, how to recitation right, let's do the work on recitation. Do the proper tajweed. And if you don't know how to even memorize, you do not have. If we are one of those, we have not memorized the surah. This is the time. Let's pick up from the last juz, reverse, come back from there. At least 10 of the smallest of the surah from the back. If you memorize that one, guess what? Alhamdulillah. If we need to teach our kids as well. In this part of the world, this is one of the toughest challenge on any parents. To keep them on that path and straight path, especially. Anywhere it's a challenge, but nowadays, especially in this part of the world, in America and other, that's a challenge. If you're not having a proper tutor, proper talim for the deen, then probably they are lacking these things. So this is the time, and I think take a moment. There's no problem of having schools or whatnot, because schools are off. So Allah has given us full liberty. Everything is full, like everything is how it is. To focus on the ibadah, focus on this month, read the rewards of the Ramadan. And inshallah, make a schedule. Make a schedule. What are you going to do? You're going to recite the Quran. When you want to recite the Quran, learn about the masail of the Ramadan, fasting. Sometimes people don't understand the masail of the Ramadan. And here I will address, even though we don't have, I'm sure there is a stream going on. Maybe someone is watching, and this is just a reminder, constant reminder to all of us, right? So for the youth as well. So if you get newly married, there are masail you need to learn. Husband, wife, they cannot have the relation during fasting. Because if you deliberately break a fast, there's a repercussion you have to face. So these masail, as a parent, sometimes we shy away from that. My recommendation is must speak up. If you don't teach them, who else will teach them? Don't assume that everything is on the web, everything. Well, there are other stuff on the web too. So there are other stuff. There are your buddies, who can misguide. They may not be practicing. So if they are aligning with those buddies, guess what? Chances are more of them that they may not influence them, rather they get influenced by them. It happens. We have seen this in and out. I myself have kids, and we have seen this firsthand. These experiments. If you want to keep yourself and your kids on the ground, this is a good gauge for the parents. Always says that keeps you on the ground. If as a parents we neglect our responsibility, guess what? If we take one wrong step, our kids will take 10 wrong steps beyond your imagination. And that's why you see. And the other day I was listening, and they says, alhamdulillah, sometimes people take pride in this one. At the same time, you have to take a lesson on that. They says, the PM, Prime Minister of UK, his lineage goes all the way to the Turkey. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. People are so celebrating. But guess what? There's a lesson for us. If we don't take care of our kids could be one of those John, Peter, and all those things on the line. They can be something like that. And they can take it, quote unquote, lineage goes to all the way to Muslims and whatnot. Guess what? They're not in Islam. So that's a suffering for us. We're going to face the consequences of all those things. So we need to work on our generation. May inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the young generation who've been groomed here, so they can look into us and look into the other things, and in the future they will start practicing more and more, and inshallah they may be better practice. And let's make the dua, they become the scholars, and they become the hafaz, they become the good speakers of the this ummah, and they lead this generation, inshallah, and they stay on Islam. This is very critical, because sometimes people say, well, I am doing the ibadah. Have you heard the hadith? There's a hadith over that. Worry about that if you don't take care of your family and others. they may be the bias of taking you to Jahannam. Have you heard those hadiths? If we don't take care of our kids and whatnot, yes, when they become adult, and it's our responsibility to keep teaching them all the rights and wrong. What's right, what wrong, what Deen says, what Islam means, and it's like in totality. There's no part-time Muslim. People say sometimes, I'm a part-time Muslim. I just pray here and there. There's no concept of part-time Muslim. Either Muslim means the one who submit in totality. So these establishing a salah is one of the basics of it. We are not doing ihsan on anyone. These are the basics of it. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us protect not ourselves but our family as well. And if our kids, so if our kids are practicing and we are not, as parents, we are not practicing, this is the time we need to ponder on that one. Everyone, there will be nafsi. Towards the end, no one will bear the burden of each other. They will everyone will push each other away. And this is the time, I have said in the past as well, I'm going to say, what else we can learn from this? This is the time when we are talking about social distancing, we're talking about this. If, God forbid, someone, na'udullah, got the coronavirus and whatnot, you see your own loved one going away from you. You can see it from the surrounding. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect this community as well and the broader as well. Inshallah. So as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, oh, you believe. Who's Allah addressing to? Obviously, someone is not going to believe to the teaching of Rasulullah, not the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is not addressing to them. Even the broader context, it is addressing to all mankind. But especially it's addressing to, oh, you who believe. At least we believe, that's when we enter into Islam. Our belief starts and take us into the fold of Islam. We believe in Wahdaniyah and we believe in Shahadatain. Shahadat, like yes, Wahdaniyah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a Khatmun Nabiyyin. That's what brings us into the fold of Islam. That's how it's constituted that you are Muslim. And when we start doing, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing to us, especially in this ayah I recited. He says, oh, you believe. Don't consider that you are the only one. I put you through this whole trials or these like zahma or whatnot. I have constituted or decreed the same fasting in a different shape and form, obviously, to the old generations too, communities before you. So like Jew, they used to do fasting, that they are supposed to do fasting in their own way. They do that. Then when it comes to the Christianity, they were told to do the fasting certain way. And this is the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on Rasulullah and his ummah, that this fasting, the way we do the fasting, it is concise at the same time. It's like from pre-dawn to the sunset. That's it. Otherwise, if you study the other, they used to do constantly fasting in and out, like they have to do. And how many of them follow actually? So this is, I'll leave as a question for you. You can study on that one. You can search on that one. How many of them still follow their own religion? But this is Islam, which teaches and emphasizes on us that we must do the fasting. We must do the fasting. This is one of the pillars of Islam. This is one of the pillars of Islam, as we call it 5 pillars of Islam. This is one of the things. You must do the Sawm. We do the fasting, and we need to learn the masail of the fasting. As I mentioned, husband wife, they newly got married. They don't understand the masail. Guess what? If you end up doing some of the intercourse or whatnot, guess what? It's a deliberate breaking of fasting. You deliberately break the Sawm. And what is the repercussion of that? 60 consecutive fasting. 60 days of fasting back to back. If you cannot keep one, forget about 60. And if you break in between that, guess what? Cycle starts again 60. That's what it is. So think about it, the gravity. So these are the masail we need to learn. There are other ways. Sometimes people, if people ask, masala comes as, okay, well, I've been fasting, and all of a sudden I accidentally ate. If you ate something, this is a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't take it in a casual means that deliberately you do it. But if Allah subhanahu, this is a blessing of Allah subhanahu, Allah made you eat this one. This is a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on you. So don't, as soon as you remember that if you're eating whatever, that's okay. Khalas, leave it there right away, but continue the fasting. Your fasting won't break in that context. And again, madhab to madhab, it differs. Like for Hanafi school of thought has some masail which Shafi does not agree. Some Shafi agrees to, Hanafi does not agree, Hanbal. So whatever you follow, just my advice to you is go and learn those masail. Ask the people from the same, people of knowledge, they can make you understand what the masails are. And those are deeper actually sometimes. People don't understand what it means, they're a depth of it. We don't have time to, we don't want to go that one. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, remember, I have decreed the same fasting to the previous generations, so they can come closer to me, so they can become righteous. So this is what? Purity of soul. In the modern day time, we some of you, if you understand the concept, in the industry, like when you have a factory going on, they do stop certain time of the year, 1 month or 15 days, whatever, they, depending on that, they halt the production. What is this? This halt period is so they can refix the machinery, realign, and then they go back again in production with the full gear. So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. We have so much of eating and junks, whatnot we put down, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a halt. And then they say, keep doing this way, and this will readjust all of your enzymes and whatever your stuff's broken and refix and whatnot going on. So there's so much going on in the body. And this is, people look for miracle. If you want to look for miracle, there's so many things out there. Your human body itself is a miracle. It's composed of so many things, people cannot even fathom what's going on. I mean, if you have seen the picture, I saw the picture the other day. Look at that, how it's constructed, construction of the body is. Like this is the body, you see the lungs, you see the arteries going on, you see the heart and all the way it's stacked or stacked. If you see the skeleton of that one, that blow your mind away. Who else can do this except the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How he puts together all these things, your heart, your place, your lungs, and all those. And as I was talking to some of them, some of the physician, and he said, this is the subhanallah blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Heart is one, obviously, but other than that, lungs and other things, Allah made to prepare. So that's why if one fails, you can still survive for a while on that. The other one. This is the thing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who else can make these ones? We are trying to make a robots and whatnot, but all if robot starts jumping a little bit, we say, wow, this is so fantastic. People get the human, how they go through those stages and how they do that. They start talking first, in the belly of or in the womb of mom, how they start doing, and then subhanallah, you've heard there were scholars born, and when their moms used to recite the Quran when they were born, they memorized that. Where's Karni? That was one of the some of the scholars, others as well, mentioned in history as well. So when they came and they, on the dunya a little bit, and they start after a while, they said, how do you memorize? People asked, they said, well, my mom used to recite that, and I used to listen and I memorized. So this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made us as a sponge, as a human. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us understand what are the masails of this Ramadan and help us reap the reward. So this is the time actually when we can spend the time with the family, and inshallah, let's work on ourselves. Let's work on ourselves. Yes, Imam was there, and when they used to decide, and we used to listen to the Quran and say, Alhamdulillah, this is Khatmul Quran. Alhamdulillah, there's a thawab for that one. There's a reward for that. But at the end, the thawab is what you decide yourself. You learn. So pick up the ayah and read the meanings as well. If you so that way you can understand what's been recited at least. And if your kids, I always encourage, if you have kids who can memorize some of them, so take turns. That you take turns. Let them recite some of the surah and lead some salah, and you recite some. So that way, Tarawih, do the Tarawih this way. Islam is Tarawih at home. People emphasize too much that Tarawih needs to be in Jama'ah. Now, if you look in the actual time of Rasulullah, as it comes, just probably 3 times he led the salah, where he was behind his muqtadi who were doing the tarawih. Rest every time they were doing their own. Rasulullah used to do that. So this is the time. Then obviously it came established right after that, long back, and during the time of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, he gathered together and said, let's recite one and other will be muqtadi. So another thing, it says there are so many things we can talk about Ramadan and fasting. Ayyam ma'duda. So for the female, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has specific days for them when they go through menstruation. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them ease on that part. That when you are in menstruation, you should not do the fasting. But guess what? There's another misconception among our sisters as well, or ladies. They think like this is all if they've missed 5, 10 days, whatever that is, and they don't have to make up. No, you have to make up those days the one you missed. So this is the masala. Understand, try to understand the masala as well. So if the Ramadan is 30 days and they miss 10 days, they have to make up this 10 days. They have time, anytime they can go out of Ramadan. And the one, sometimes people as a brothers, we think like, we hear the argument, people say, well, I cannot hold my, I feel hungry all the time and I don't find the energy and I cannot do the fasting. And can I give something? Well, if you are not sick, if you're not sick, it's compulsion on you to do the fasting. Yes, if you are sick, subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given a leeway to you. It says, if you're a traveler, if you have those specific days for the woman, and if you are sick, you cannot do it, then there are other ways to, you can skip the fasting, but you have to give the fidya. You have to give the fidya. And if you're sick, and there's a masail as well. Again, madhab to madhab, it may differ. According to Hanafi school of thought, they says, if you are sick now, give the fidya of the days you are missing, or for example, you cannot keep the fasting. But if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you the siha, gives you the health, guess what? You need to make up those days. So that will come as a charity for you. You'll get the reward for that. But make sure you do the fasting again. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us understand what the fasting means and help us reap the reward of this month of Ramadan. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر لي ولكم سائر المسلمين فاستغفروه.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله الحمد لله إذا بأجل صفات سمي سماء قبيل الشان جل القدر في ذكر متعلق من جل البرهان وقانون الاسم عزيز العلم وسيم المسيح القرآن جميل السناء جزيل العطاء من نبي الدعاء أم الإحسان سر الحساب شديد العقاب عليم العذاب عزيز السلطان ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله ونشهد أن سيدنا مولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله المبعوث إلى الأسود والأحمر المنوط بشرع صدر برفع الذكر وصلى الله عليه وعلى آله والصحابة الذين هم خلاصة العرب الأربعة وخير الخلائق بعد الأنبياء. أما بعد فيا أيها الناس وحدوا الله فإن التوحيد رأس الطاعات واتقوا الله فإن التقوى ملك الحسنات وعليكم بسنة فإن سنة تهدي إلى الإطاعة ومن أطاع الله ورسوله فقد رشد واهتدى وإياكم بالبدع فإن البدعة تهدي إلى المعصية وليس الله ورسوله فضل وغوى وعليكم بالصدق فإن الصدق ينجي والكذب يحرق وعليكم بالإحسان فإن الله يحب المحسنين أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم إن الذين يستكبرون عن عبادتي سيدخلون جهنم داخرين. بارك الله لنا ولكم بالقرآن العظيم ونفعنا وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفر إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله استعينوا واستغفروا نعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي واشهد لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله. أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة من يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد ومن يأس فإنه لا يضر إلا نفسه ولا يضر الله شيئا. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا وأخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إسرا كما حملته الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم اغفر لي وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات يوم يقوم الحساب. قال إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي الله رب العالمين. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذريتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. عباد الله في أصحابي لا تتخذوا غرضا من بعدكم من أحبهم فبحبي أحبهم ومن أبغضهم فبغضي أبغضهم وخير أمتي قرني ثم الذين يلونهم ثم الذين يلونهم. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون.